All right, welcome back, fans, friends, family, to SportsCast. We are on episode number 5. It's your boy Dre, your boy Alex, and your boy Albert. Boys, how we doing tonight?
Doing great.
Here, man. Doing good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I do want to apologize to our fans for not uploading last week. Life got busy. It is what it is, but we're here now. That's all that matters. The only thing that matters now is the present. So we're gonna get into first, right? The Chargers against the Raiders. That game was awful to watch. 63-24. Why do y'all think that game was like so bad? Like just as a whole.
They
We'll
can't
start
do
with you,
anything
Albert.
without Justin Herbert. They just can't do anything. I mean, to be blown out by like more than 40 points, like throughout the whole game, just to like not even play like a good football game and to lose by more than 40 points. I think it was a good idea that the Chargers just had to instantly fire Brandon Staley. I mean, he's just he is just not a good head coach built for this team. I think what I'm predicting for next season, I think they they ought to hire Belichick for as the head coach because he has that experience and I feel like he could bring the Chargers back to life next season.
Yeah, I'm pulling for either Belichick or, don't get me wrong here, don't go off on me, but Jim Harbaugh. If he does become the NFL, I want him to go to the Chargers, man. Don't shake your head at me, Alex. That's what I want to happen. Okay. Do I think it'll happen? Not necessarily, but I feel like he'll be a good fit in LA. He already has a good roster there, pretty much set up for him as he walks in. Only thing you gotta do is put the right people in the right place, like not position wise, but like coaching wise. Call the right defense, call the right coverage, call the right offensive plays. You're good. I feel like the Chargers' offense this year it wasn't bad, but it wasn't not as good as it used to be as well. But I feel like now we know for sure Justin Herbert was not the problem in LA, right?
No.
I feel like that's confirmed. Like we all knew he wasn't, but it just shows how much the Chargers need him. And I hope they realize that and get this man some help in the front office. Because man, 63-21, man. Like, how do you get 63 dropped on you? Like that's
In the NFL, you're supposed to be the best in the world. No matter no matter how bad your record is, like you're supposed to be like the best players in the world when it comes to football, right? Each team is like the best of the best of the best. Like these guys are supposed to be like elite. And yeah, you're facing other elite talent, but it's like, man, like how do you get blown out that bad by a Raiders team that's mid at best? I mean, you got Aiden O'Connell playing quarterback. Like, when was he ever relevant? Didn't he play at Michigan State?
I don't even know who it is, to be honest with you.
I don't even. Yeah, exactly.
He played at Purdue.
Purdue, okay. Big upgrade, I guess. Not really, but I mean, how are you going to let Aiden O'Connell? I mean, yeah, they got Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a monster, but at the same time, like, how are you going to let Aiden O'Connell have a day on you? That man,
I think another crazy part of that is too is that the week prior to this, they scored 0 points against the Vikings. The score was like 3-0, and then you go from scoring 0 points to scoring 63 points. It's just like, how do you allow that to happen?
I don't even think it's the Raiders. You don't. To me,
Must have had extra practice, I guess.
Something, because something wasn't right.
To me, with that game, don't look at the Raiders. Ignore the Raiders. All eyes need to be on the Chargers. And what the heck was that? Like,
yeah, I mean, they came out no energy, kind of just not tackling, just
they
doing
didn't want to
whatever.
be there. Nobody wanted to be there.
Yeah, I feel like the locker room kind of gave up on Staley already.
Yeah.
The front office was trying so hard to just, keep him there and stuff like that. But the team was like, bro, like, we're done. Herbert's not playing. Houston Stick is playing quarterback instead. And it's just like, bro, we just don't want to be here. And it showed. And they got freaking embarrassed. I thought they were going to break the record, like the Dolphins, not to break the record, but get like high up there. The Dolphins did earlier in the season against the Broncos. And they didn't, thankfully. But man, I looked at my phone at halftime. It was 42-0. I was like, what?
I mean, it got so bad. I had a text message from the Chargers organization asking if I wanted to come in and play quarterback. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, then that one-handed interception he
post.
had too. It was.
I found a post like on Instagram. It wasn't real. It was just like something fan made, but it said, "If you have a Chargers jersey, please come to practice in the morning." It was something like that. It was funny.
Yeah.
We'll take anybody.
But it just really shows how bad the Chargers played that game. And they even have Austin Eckler. I mean, I thought Austin Eckler was supposed to have a breakout year. Did he score last Thursday?
No.
I
I
don't
believe he did, but
maybe. Let me look at that for you.
No.
even if I were him, I would want to trade because
I mean, I feel like he's
I
part
feel
of the
like
problem.
Austin Eckler could be
Yeah.
better somewhere else.
I don't like Austin Eckler. I think he's overrated. He has underperformed every single year in the league when he's not hurt. He's had a few good games here and there. Now, granted, they've been amazing games, and he's had decent seasons, but I don't think he deserves to be in that conversation of top running backs in the league, in my opinion. I just don't. I don't see it. Like, would I put him in the tier with Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, uh, James Cook had a day the other day. I mean,
Yeah.
or like Raheem Mostert. I would not put Austin Eckler up there. Sure as heck wouldn't put him with like Christian McCaffrey. That is like, no,
Yeah. I feel
I
like he
don't.
kind of just fell off from what he was
He
before.
did.
Like he used to be decent, but not decent. He used to be like above average. Like he was pretty good at running back.
He
But
was.
I feel like now he kind of lost that boom, like that oomph that he had. Like
Well, he's
when
almost 30.
like when he played the Packers, he saw that run. When he looked like Eddie Lacy when he was like easy could have scored, but he was running like 2 miles per hour, and it was just like.
Yeah.
But let's move into our next topic, shall we? Your Packers got shredded by the Bucks.
Baker. Let's just say that.
Yeah, man. How did Baker Mayfield have a career day, man? What's going on? What's going on in Green Bay, man?
So let me start with the Baker Mayfield thing. I am a Baker Mayfield fan. Let me just preface that. I like Baker Mayfield. I have never understood the flack this man gets. He's a good quarterback. Now, is he an elite quarterback? No. Will he come to your organization and win you ball games? Yes. And I don't understand why people think that he's so bad, because he's not. He's not a bad quarterback at all. Like, he's better than crap. I mean, Aiden O'Connell. He's better than
I feel like when he first got drafted, he just got put in a crap situation,
Yeah,
it was kind of just like, yeah, exactly. He was a number 1 overall pick to the Browns that had like nobody. Came fresh off an 0-16 season, so
I would take him over a lot of other starting quarterbacks in the league right now, and not a lot, a few definitely, but over Mac. I'm not getting into that. Look, point being, Baker Mayfield played lights out, and our defense couldn't stop it. Aaron Jones sucked. I mean, just was awful. I think he had like 27. It was like 27 carries for less than 100 yards, no touchdowns. Jordan Love threw 2-3 touchdowns, but I mean, it's just not enough. It doesn't matter when your defense, when your secondary is getting cooked. My thing with the Packers moving forward is, as much as I love Aaron Jones, get him out of there. He's just going to eat money. He's 29 years old, and traditionally that's when running backs start to regress a little bit. Look at Derrick Henry. He's 29 as well. He's not Derrick. He's not, the unstoppable slinging Josh Norman across the field Derrick Henry anymore, Aaron Jones is at that age. Get rid of him. Get rid of David Bakhtiari. I am so sick of David Bakhtiari.
That's your lineman, right?
Yes. He's supposed to be like the best left tackle in the league when he's healthy, but like he's never healthy. He hasn't played a full season, and I don't even know. Like, he's like the Michael Thomas of offensive linemen. Like, he just doesn't play. And when he does, he's great, but he can't stay healthy. Get rid of him. For the love of God, for the ever-loving love of all that is holy, please fire Joe Barry. That's, the defensive coordinator. Please get rid of him. we have good pieces on defense, but we have nobody to coach them. It's kind of like the old Chargers organization, except for our defense, is that we have nobody to coach them. The play calling is terrible. And then if you want me to go even further, and I'll wrap this up with this, I don't like Matt LaFleur. Never liked Matt LaFleur. Thought it was BS hire. Aaron Rodgers made him look good. Our general manager is trash. Clean house. We're not a playoff team. I don't care what all these other delusional Packers fans. Yeah, I want my team to win, but I also don't want to see my team go to a wild card game and get absolutely schmammered by the 49ers.
Yeah.
I don't. I just don't want to see, not the 49ers, maybe the Cowboys.
I'll say they probably have the 1 seed, so they'll have that bye at least.
Cowboys
The 49ers.
or whoever else in NFC that's sitting probably at that 2 seed probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Cowboys or Eagles.
I don't want to see Cowboys or Eagles. I don't want to see my team get absolutely just thunderstruck by an organization who actually is doing something good with their organization, and not running it into the ground and wasting every draft pick on a defensive player, every first round pick we have on a defensive player, or a Utah State freaking quarterback who yeah, that's it. Sorry. All right.
Go Pack Go, baby. Go Pack Go.
Now, while the Bucs have kind of been on an up and down roller coaster season with Baker Mayfield, I think they are going to have a strong next 3 games. Like I think they're doing better even when Tom Brady left last season or when he retired, because I still feel like the Bucs have lots of weapons that could help them progress into the playoffs. Like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Like Baker has weapons. He has tons of things he could work with to lead the Bucs to a playoff spot, or maybe even the divisional round, or not the what's it called, the
wild card.
Not well. I mean, they could go into the wild card because the Falcons aren't that far off from the playoffs. Because like I think a lot of the NFC teams are like just very mediocre.
Well,
it's really anyone's playoff spot to lose.
Yeah.
So I think we could tell that Baker Mayfield has done a really good job so far in keeping the Bucs afloat. I mean, he has talents that Tom Brady doesn't have. He has better mobility, better vision. I mean, you could see because he had around week 2, he had a no look pass to I believe Rashad White when he played. I believe it was who did they play week 2? I don't remember, but Baker Mayfield is just like a different breed of quarterback. He is like the quarterback. He has the quarterback skills that you need to succeed in today, like mobility, vision, all that. So that's just my take on the Bucs.
That's good. Yeah, I kind of in the same boat. Like they got a lot of young-ish talent. Mike Evans is getting older, but he's also not very old either. You got to probably get 3, 4, 5 years in him. So I feel like they still have a good future ahead of him. Baker Mayfield isn't necessarily old either. He's probably like 28, something like that right now, which isn't bad for a quarterback.
This still might be Mike Evans' last year with the Bucs.
Yeah, all that contract and money and stuff like that. But it's I'm optimistic about a lot of teams, because a lot of teams are old. They've got a lot of veteran players, stuff like that. But there's also a lot of young talent, honestly. Like the Packers, like you're saying, they wasted all their draft picks, a lot of like freaking defensive players, but the Packers are like the youngest team in the league, I think, or something like that.
They are the youngest.
Yeah, so they have a lot of time to grow, and that's gonna help them in the long run. I feel like because that's how I am. Like every time I rebuild a franchise and Madden something like that, I get rid of all my old players except for like maybe a quarterback, something like that. Start fresh, stock up on draft picks, get young people in, and go to work from there. But when you have, I don't know, I feel like the Packers have a good foundation to start with.
We do,
but they're not quite there yet. Like there's still a couple pieces missing. Maybe it's a coach. Maybe you never know. I think but
coaching. A lot of it is coaching. I think really the only thing that really what's been getting me fired up is just the other Packers fans and their delusions. Like, you can say I'm not a real fan, whatever. I mean, I'll say the same thing about Tennessee or whatever. Like, I'm a realistic fan. I
Yeah, yeah,
see what this team is, and they're not a bad football team. We're not nowhere near the worst team in the league. Even being as young as we are not the worst team in the league by far. I mean, we're fighting for a playoff spot right now. My whole thing is that I wish we wouldn't make the playoffs because, okay, we have a lot of young talent. Let's get rid of some of that old mess from the Aaron Rodgers era. If you want to move on from that era, let's move on. Get rid of Aaron Jones. Get rid of David Bakhtiari. Get rid of those two. That frees up a lot of cap space. You go to the draft. You draft some really good players because this draft class, in my opinion, is stacked.
yeah.
It's a pretty hefty draft class. And that, like, get somebody in free agency, man. We sign has-beens or no names in free agency. Go out and get a good player. Go out in free agency and nail somebody. Nail a wide receiver. Nail a new tight end. Nail a running back. I don't know. Nail somebody that could come in, maybe he's an older dude, give some senior leadership on that team. But will we do any of that? No.
No, of course not. Of course not.
No. That makes too much sense. So I don't know. I spent too much time on this. I'm not letting the Packers get my blood pressure up any more than they already have. So
Alrighty. I do want to let the fans know the reason why I keep looking over here because I have the Seahawks game on as well. So if you see me looking, that's why. But anyways, on to the next topic. We're going to talk about the Chiefs and their receiver problems, man. So we all saw the play last week where Tony lined up off sides and, Mahomes kind of threw a little hissy fit about it and Andy Reid and everybody. But it's just like
he was
at the end of the day, he was off sides. It doesn't matter about warnings and stuff like that. Like, I get the concept of what they're trying to say, but it's also like he was off sides. He's been, kind of selling them all season, I feel like. And now he cost him a game. And then I saw what in the Patriots game this past weekend, he had a ball thrown right to his hands that tipped up, went to the Patriots player. And Tony, I feel like Tony is kind of just I don't know, man. Like, I'm not gonna say he sucks because obviously he's better than me. He's in the league and all that, but maybe he needs to play running back or something like that because I feel like receiver just.
When you compare him to other wide receivers that are starting in the NFL, he does kind of suck. Now, compared to me or any of us, yeah, I mean, the dude's a baller, but
Yeah, it's easy for me to sit here and say he sucks. It's like, pretty much.
But
I think we can just all agree that Patrick Mahomes is done with all the receivers that he has right now. I bet he misses Tyreek. He still has Hardman, but he's not in his prime. He misses Sammy Watkins. He just like Patrick Mahomes can't succeed with these receivers, and you know what he's going to do? Of course, he's going to throw a fit, just like what Tom Brady did when he was the face of the NFL. When you have all that hype for you becoming the GOAT or a player or something like that, you're gonna get your hopes up. And when something doesn't go your way, of course you're gonna throw a fit. Because you're just disappointed that you don't have the expectations to live up becoming like the next Tom Brady or something like that. So I mean I don't really blame Mahomes that much for just having those receivers.
Well, by fit, I meant
you just
like
got to
not
deal with
of.
them.
I think I mean like fit in general, but more like a fit towards the referees with that call. I feel like the referees are just doing that job. They call the right call, so don't go off on the refs saying I don't know if y'all saw post game. He told Josh Allen like it was like a horrible call or something like that. And it's like
no, it wasn't.
He can blame all the refs he wants to.
Call,
He's just done with the receivers.
It was Kadarius Toney lined up all sides.
Yeah, and that's what it was. So it's just there's not much else to it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, there's not much else to it. And with that, it's kind of just like you need to be more mad at the person who was offsides rather than the refs for calling your player for being offsides. If he was offsides, that's what it was. That's what it is. That's simple,
You can clearly see on the replay that the dude lined up all sides.
Hold your player accountable rather than trying to hold the refs accountable for the right call. Get on your receiver, bro. Like, we stand at the practice, we doing catching drills, make sure you check with the ref every single time, all that stuff, But I feel like just throwing a fit about it isn't going to change anything. If you want to be the next Tom Brady or one of those greats, you gotta get your players in the lab. Like, look, you gotta hold them accountable. Gronk drop a pass, Brady hold them accountable, or Edelman, all those greats from back in the day, they'll drop a pass. Brady hold him accountable. He doesn't throw. He threw his hissy fits, yes, but at the end of the day, I guarantee he would hold them like after practice. Hey, run some routes, or go in front of the catching machine or something like that, rather than just throwing a fit on the sideline, which isn't going to solve anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. But see, I am not a Patrick Mahomes fan, so I honestly don't feel bad for the dude whatsoever. Maybe it's not necessarily Patrick Mahomes, it's just maybe just Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think we can all agree
And
that
Romo.
tantrum was just very unsportsmanlike, stupid
Yeah.
behavior. And
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid got fined for that.
Mhm.
And I think they deserve it because, I feel like today's sports are just filled with divas. I know y'all. Well, there's some players that want to win the championship for their team, in which they should, because that's everybody's goal. They want to win the championship. But again, I also see some players that just want to get their stats better so they can go to the Pro Bowl or just get their stats up on Madden or 2K, which I think is just very selfish. So, well, maybe Mahomes is throwing a tantrum for the right reasons because he wants to win he wants to win the championship for his team. But at the same time, man, you just got to keep your composure and you got to focus on what the whole team wants instead of yourself. Because again,
I
you
feel like
want to win the championship.
another thing that kind of bothered me as well is how he's like, that was a horrible call. The refs are horrible and stuff like that. When if we're being honest, he's been getting bailed out by flags since he's been in the league. Like him and the Chiefs, they've been getting bailed out since he's been into the league. Super Bowl. I can go down the list really, and it's just like the refs should be able to determine the games, but it's like that's been happening your whole career. So don't shoot the mouth, or what were the phrases, like don't slap the hand that feeds you or something like that.
Don't look
But
a good horse in the mouth.
yeah. And it's just like they've been helping your whole career. Don't get mad at them now because they make the right call finally. They're not helping you out anymore. I feel like now it's gonna be like they're gonna be, hopefully they start calling the games more fair, because I feel like that's what we need kind of more around the league anyway. Because 100%. Like I said, man, it's I agree with him when he said, hey, he hate like he rates. Oh my Jesus, I can't talk. But he hates how refs determine outcomes in games. But it's like I said, it's just like the refs have been doing it your entire career, man. Don't switch sides now. Stick with it. They've been helping you. Yeah, they've been helping you this whole time, and don't switch up the track now.
I think that whole statement to me that he said about refs deciding the outcome of games is a little bit ridiculous, because what do you mean? I guess in that sense they did, but why couldn't you have scored on an earlier drive? Why couldn't you have done this? Like they didn't really influence the outcome of that game. Your receiver lining up off sides is what influenced that end of that game. It wasn't the refs making the correct call. It was Kadarius Toney lining up off sides, and they called him breaking a rule. So therefore, they have an obligation as referees to call the break of said rule and penalize the team that broke. This is basic football. I don't know why he doesn't.
Yeah. Because, like I said, I think he got so used. Sorry, you go ahead, Albert. I've been kind of
when you lose a football game, you can't point fingers at one player or one coach. I mean, when you lose a football game, you gotta look at the whole team.
Yeah.
I don't want to get off topic, but I do want to. I don't know. I do want to talk about the Dolphins versus Titans. Last Monday, if y'all are fine with that, or last week.
I don't know much about it. You can go ahead and talk about it though.
Last
5 minutes, kind of though.
Will Levis has that dog in him.
So last week, the Dolphins were up 27-13, and then Will Levis, of course, had that comeback where it started off with a touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins, and then a 2-point conversion to Westbrook Akine. Then the Dolphins couldn't get anything done. Couldn't get anything done on offense, and then which led to them punting. And then Titans got the ball back, and Derrick Henry was able to run for the touchdown and the lead. And then Dolphins couldn't get anything done on offense. But I still see on social media that they're just gonna point fingers at Tua because they're acting like he was the main fault, like he was the main reason why the Dolphins lost, and I just disagree on that because you can't just point fingers at one player for a loss. I think I mean I don't want to point fingers on the defense either, but I felt like they didn't finish the game. It's that simple. The Dolphins did not finish the game. They got way too comfortable with the lead, and that's how they blew that game. So just wanted to point that out, and you can blame the quarterback all you want. You can blame the coaching, but there was just a lot more to that loss. And I'm just saying, when you lose, you got to look at the whole team. You got to look at the entire team, and what y'all could do to get better. You can't point fingers at one player.
Mm-hmm. You can't.
Yeah, it's always it's 11 on 11. One player could make a difference, but at the same time, it's kind of just like a couple plays ago, he could have made this catch or he could have made this block better. At the end of the day, it's a team game, and we got to keep it that way for the most part. But boys, I think we'll end it there. I appreciate everyone, or we appreciate everyone that watches. Just to kind of go down what we're gonna do now, structure-wise, letting the fans know stuff like that. We're gonna kind of just trim down the episodes. Got to keep it under 30 minutes now, so it's actually watchable. Because I was telling them, like I said, I wouldn't want to watch. I don't want to sit here for an hour and watch a podcast. So yeah, we lowered that. We're gonna try to keep the time lower. Just more episodes. Once I divide them, one NFL episode, one college episode, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll end it there, boys. Appreciate everyone for watching. We love you guys. And it's your boy Dre, your boy Albert, your boy Alex. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace out.